If you know anything about weapons, they don't move them unless they absolutely have to. Yeah. They don't. And when they bring them in and out, they bring them in out of aircraft. And there's a short convoy because of security. There's not. They would never bring them back and forth. Yeah, that would never happen.
They're all strung out, John. They're all
Green and common was a big cover.
Where's Jim?
It's over here.
Jim's over here, John.
Jim's over here. He's over here.
Over here.
So you were walking. That water just comes to an air park. From what I've been told about this one, it belongs to the MOU.
Yeah, they got British soldiers stationed in there.
So we were walking from left to the right.
Jim!
He's over here, John. Beyond you.
Oh, he's back.
Number one thing about security, you know what you do? You don't know where the hell I'm at, do you?
I didn't know where the hell you were 30 years ago.
Okay. All right. Can you see it?
Okay, listen up, everybody. We're going to start.
Whoa. What?
Sorry.
It's all right. Oh, it's a camera.
No.
The gate's all the way down there by the, you can't see it, there's another fence line that comes on out. That's where the original east gate is. This, and it was only this high, about 4 feet high. That was it. And John would make sure that
We would come out and check it.
swing gates and that.
Right.
This gate wasn't used except for probably relief for the security police
At night, yeah.
at night.
Right.
And also, if you look over here, oh, sorry, over in here, all these trees are gone because we had clear zones because of the security. Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. Over on this side over here, we had clear zones. So we had actually, let's see, what was it? Oh, 200 feet of clear zone. That means no trees, no vegetation. Easy identification for intruders. We also had these other people that came out that were British citizens that did tail spotting. I don't know if they still do it over here. Recording the tail numbers.
Yeah. We still got him.
Yeah, that was very. That's not a really good situation. Those guys came like a lot of times they were being beaten down with an M16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Not a good thing. Anyway, want to start with the what?
Okay, basically,
You start
so
first.
we can clear. We're going to clear this misconception up. I wasn't walking on guard duty. I wasn't smoking cigarettes. I wasn't out here all by myself, whining and complaining and all the other stories. It was Christmas night, guys. Take a look at the base. Okay. Other than the fact there's no lights on it now because it's shut down, this is the way it was that night. There was nothing going on. Stop and listen for a minute how quiet it was. You think we'd have known the chopper went in the air?
Yeah.
All right, so it was quiet like this other than the perimeter lighting and the lights, okay? And it was getting close to probably 2:30 going on 3. I had been here almost 2 years or a year and a half, and my supervisor was new, and he was my supervisor. And what had happened was this base, and I'll give you a quick recap. Ben Waters was hopping every night. We'd have fights even on during the week. Woodbridge was dead a lot of the time. So and on Christmas night there was nothing going on, like the Santa Claus thing, not even a peep of a mouse. We were bored, and he called me up and he wanted me to ride around with him for a while. So I said okay. So we met up, Sergeant Steffens, and as we were coming down the road, which is way down past the gate shack, I was sitting back, he was driving, and he just goes to me, he goes, look, he goes, look in the sky. Look at the tree line over there. What the hell is that? Or something like that. I don't know if hell is maybe not wrong. But he didn't know what it was. He goes, you've been here a long time. Have you seen anything like this? And this gate was not normally open after 6, sometimes 10 depending on operations. But normally Monday through Friday it would close at 6, no later than 10. But if it was open for alerts and stuff, I'd been out here. So I'd seen different, as far as what it looked like down there. And everyone that's never been here before, there was no trees on either side, like Jim said. So we saw something strange, and it got my attention. And so he said, and this is the first rule we broke, okay? And I'll be honest. He said, what do we do? And I says, well, being me, I said, let's go see what it is. He's like, what? And I go, well, Bud, there's something out there. We got to kind of figure out what's going on. He agreed. So I jumped out, opened the gate, and we took off down that road. And you see that long road we just walked, right? And we got down to the end of where that parking lot was. We took a quick right, and we turned the vehicle around. Okay, and there it was in the woods. Okay, and depending on memory's old, but it was fluctuating where it was in the woods, up and down, back and forth. There was white, red, and all those different colored lights. But when we turned the vehicle around, I jumped out real fast to look into the woods, and there was a real static electricity in there. It was a real freaky. And I heard some people getting out tonight and going, whoa, this is freaky. You know, but there was some kind of static electricity in there. And I kind of looked at him, and he looked at me, and we knew we were in trouble. Not so much that we thought we were going to be attacked, but what are we doing down here? We don't know what the hell's going on. Something doesn't seem right. And if something starts to happen, how the hell are we going to explain this?
Yeah.
So we whipped right back around and took off right back down here and came flying back through this gate and went right up to that gate shack. And as we're coming back, I think I remember kind of like, what the hell are we going to do? We're going to call this in. And it was like, well, we better call it in because it just isn't right. So right there's got to tell you something. Why, if it was the lighthouse, and can anybody see the lighthouse? Take a quick look. Why, if it was the lighthouse, would two grown men call on the phone to start shit?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. That wasn't happening. We saw something we couldn't identify, and it was strange, and it made it feel us uncomfortable. And it felt. I don't want to go into the security hazard, but it felt like it could be some kind of threat. It had to have been because we wouldn't have called it in. So we went up to the gate and called it in. Well, the guy on the desk was the guy that I'd screwed with for over a year and a half, and I love screwing with him. I'm just telling you, I did. I had him one time call the flight chief up and jump in the car to come looking for me because he thought there was some drunk on the phone. As I picked up, we had hotlines all over and made him think I was screwing with him. So he didn't want to believe me. So he didn't want to believe me. So he said, "Look, I don't believe you. I think you're screwing with me." And so he was listening to what I was trying to describe. So get that. Think about that for a minute. The guy was getting a weird feeling what I was trying to tell him and didn't want to believe it, okay? Yeah. So he thought, what the hell? So at that point, I think he tried to call my bluff and said, well, you know, I'm going to transfer you to CSC and you can deal with them. And usually if it's a bluff at that point, oh, don't do that, come on. But it went straight over to CSC. And when it goes to there, it gets serious, guys.
Oh, we're serious guys, man.
CSC is a different animal, not law enforcement. Not that we weren't serious, but now we're talking about security, okay?
Yeah.
So I got on the phone with them, and I started explaining what I saw. And what I always remember, and if you read Ed's statement, is that Bud and I were like really getting bugged by this, and we didn't like it, and we didn't really want it. We didn't understand it then, and we were really uncomfortable with it. And I said, look, Don, it was Donnie Dillard was his name, he was the sergeant. I said, look, there's something going on, and you need to get somebody else down here, and we need to figure out what we're going to do and what's going to happen. And he said, okay. And he gets on the radio, and what the hell does he do? Control, and it was his call sign, you need to respond code 2 down to the gate. We've got a report of a UFO. And that's the truth. That was what was said on the radio. And he came flying down here, and now it's his turn.
Oh, actually, they came across. I was at the chow hall, and they were open later that night because they're 24-hour operations because of Boxing Day. And I just got my breakfast. I was shooting the shit with some British national, asking about Boxing Day. I get a call. Security 8, Security Control. Be advised we have a situation, a UFO. Down there. I pulled my radio up. I got my eggs in front of me. I go, can you repeat that? He says, 1012 this office. Call this office. So I got on, I called him on direct line. So what's going on out there? They said, police 4 and 5 have a situation on the East Gate and they'll brief you when you get out there. Okay, that's no problem. Go code 2. Code 2? What's the situation? Because code 2 is running blue lights. There's something wrong. I'd like to know what's going on down here. They said, no, run code 2. And they said, police 4 or police 5 will brief you. So anyway, I run code 2, and I mean, code 2 for me is, around 75, 80 miles an hour. Oh, yeah, so it's pretty fast. Make it down here. I jump out of my vehicle. I got Burroughs and I got Steffens. They're standing right over here. Well, it's down that farther, but standing over here, the gate check's here. I says, okay, bud, what's the hell's going on? He says, look over there. He says, shit. I said, do you hear that come down? He goes, oh. He says, that didn't crash. I said, it didn't crash? He goes, no. He said, it landed. I says, chopper? He goes, no, Jim, that's not a chopper. It landed. John. What? We got to get the fuck out there, he says. We got to get out there. There's something wrong. We got to get out there. All right, hold on. I go back to the control center, or the gate shack, pick up a direct line, because they told me not to be on the radio. And I hope you don't mind me swearing, because we do swear on the radio.
Go ahead.
we did.
Right ahead.
All right, I pick up the phone, I go, hey, I said, hey, Dillard, right? That's the security controller. I go, Penniston. I said, what the hell's going on out there? We had lights. I says, off the east gate. I says, probably at 25 degrees. I says, it appears to be a fire of some sort. I says, was there any type of radar contact, I says, on aircraft? Because we have down flying. I know it's not from here. So he said, okay. He says to the other controller, he says, you check on that. And then he asked me, he said, okay, Jim, do you have your crash kit? Yes, I do. He says, do you have your grid, your plotting grids? I said, yes, I do. I'm going through my inventory, what I have. So he says, okay, he says, once we get permission to go off base, because of the possible aircraft downing, he says, we're going to go ahead and you need to do your checklist, set up a control point, go ahead and do the upwind in case it's chemical weapons or something's going to kill me, you know, that kind of stuff. And he says, go ahead and you'll need 2 patrolmen. So we had all the stuff we needed, and what we do normally is go out there, wait before we go into the crash site, set the engine control point up, wait for fire department, wait for medical personnel, things like that. And so I'm looking at this thing, I said, damn, I'm thinking, that don't look like a damn aircraft crash. I've only been in about 25 of them. They burn different. Titanium burns different. Fuel burns different. No smell, no noise. And so we finally get permission to go ahead and go off base because there was a confirmed radar. When I went back, they said we lost contact 15 minutes ago, and it was over Woodbridge. Okay, confirmed. Doesn't look like a crash, but it's confirmed. So I get Aaron Burroughs, Aaron Kabanzak, and I really believe that I kept him armed, even though Status of Forces agreement says no, because I went in case it was classified out there or something like that. We got rid of our 16s because they're too obvious. We don't want the Brits to see us with 16s, okay? We're not supposed to have them out there. So we get in the vehicle, and then we tear down. I drive fast on responses. We tore down this road, no codes. Get down, take a right, drive down the short ways, take a logging access road, that direction. All while I'm doing this, I'm going, security 8, security control, be advised, this is security okay, fence. You know what our security procedures at the time? We put a fake word in, like security okay, fence, security okay, tree. And what it is, if there's a duress word that says I'm in trouble, let's say the duress word is sky. I would go, security okay, sky. And it would automatically tell them there's something wrong. So I'm getting the security checks. I'm pissing and moaning at Kabanzak because he's brand new. I says, break open the crash kit. I want the grid map out. And so I pull the grid map up while I'm driving. I'm looking at it, trying to drive. I said, okay, it's Golf 7. No, Delta 7, Golf 14. That's the grid coordinates for that. I do remember that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not bad after the years.
And so then we stop because I'm worried about the vehicle tipping over. I'm going over like huge berms, like old trees that have been there.